I'm going to call the meeting to order.
Today.
I've not heard from Tracy, so I'm not sure if she's coming or
I
not.
haven't spoke to her.
Okay. And I believe Hunter's daughter's not feeling well, so I don't think he's coming. So,
Is Carrie? Oh, Carrie's here.
and Carrie's here.
Yeah.
So 7:03, call the meeting to order.
Stacy is coming. Tracy is coming, I'm sorry.
She's coming? Okay.
I was gonna say, we got a new one, Tracy, Stacy.
She's coming. Do you want to give her a couple minutes or do we want to,
Let's give her a couple of minutes.
we can seat
But we can see
Hunter.
Scott.
Yeah.
Hunter.
Seat Scott for Hunter.
I'll
Okay.
make that motion.
Yeah, I second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
I,
Officially. seated. What I wanted to kind of do tonight, Scott, I don't think you've seen the where we landed,
Nope.
so I thought I'd share with you kind of the Excel sheet. We went through each line item last week.
Yep.
Chris Leon was in, presented the school budget. I don't know that that went to vote. Do we know if that went to vote?
Not that I know of.
Hi, Tracy.
Hello.
Just getting started. We made a motion to seat Scott for Hunter.
Okay.
And I was just saying to Scott, we went through the budget items last week. And we filled in all the appropriate departments. Happy to share a copy of this with you, Scott, if you want,
That'd be great.
but just to kind of give you a sense, we didn't really change anything.
Okay.
It was sort of as presented. And then we spent, do you want me to tab through all these or?
No.
Do you have an
Good.
extra copy of that?
I just have it electronically.
Okay.
I could
Forward.
make a PDF and send it out
All right, great.
for those that don't have Excel. So then we went through the mill rate calculation.
Yep.
And we played a little bit around with the fund balance. So our fund balance originally was at 17% or so.
Yep.
So we took the 473,595 from what we used last year
Mm-hmm.
and calculated the mill rate with that. So that actually brings the mill rate from 23.99 down to 18.3. So we're reducing it by 5.69% or points, which is a 31% reduction in mill rate. So did this little calculation over here on the side. The average increase in assessments across the town was 31%. So if you had a house that was $250,000, you paid $59,980 for taxes under our old mill rate of 23.9. Your house increased in value 31%, 77.5. With the new mill rate at 18.3, you're actually paying $4 or less in taxes. So some folks didn't go up that much. Others went up significantly. So I think we're at a point where we can either have public discussion on this, or happy to have other discussions with the board here tonight if there's open questions.
Let's look at capital. Keeps me up at night.
So this is the capital non-reoccurring list. If you want me to make it a little bit bigger, I can. There are some things we are funding and some things we are not. So this is just a list to have everything in place, and the various different years in which we'll start collecting.
Well, let's look at 22, 23, 24.
Right.
So what's our capital balance now, taking that 170 out?
614.
No, that's what we're spending.
Oh.
Didn't we wipe capital out?
No, I don't think so. So our balance is 324.
Wait, make that bigger.
So these are the
Something's not.
projects that we were going to go forward with for 23, 24.
They're gonna replace the backhoe again? Or are we just putting funding
We're
money?
putting funding towards it.
Current balance. Yeah, there's the current balance is 324 and we're spending 444.5.
We're spending more money than we got.
All right, but we're funding it by 400,000. From the town budget.
So the ending fund balance is actually gonna be 282,000.
Right.
Well, no, our fund balance is significantly higher than that.
No, capital,
Yeah.
just stay, focus on capital. We're not talking about fund balance.
She said fund balance.
No,
No,
well, I'm going by,
capital fund balance.
okay, so I'm just going by what's on the top there, beginning balance and then the deposits, the proposed withdrawals. And ending balance is what I was looking at.
Right.
But next year's proposed is like somewhat astronomical, is it not?
825 if we do it all and there's no grants.
What if we did it all?
Hmm?
What's our plan B? What if we did it all?
Well, right now, we have 900 and we have $1 million in fund balance.
You're gonna fund the capital fund balance?
No, no, I'm not saying.
Back to there, because you're still gonna raise taxes either way.
I'm sorry?
Well, the fund balance only can be stretched so thin if you don't use the fund balance to offset taxes
Right.
and use it to offset capital, you can't use it in both places.
Understood.
I mean,
So, go ahead, Scott.
no, it might be one of those situations. I mean, I know where you're going with it, Tracy. It's just you're splitting the fund balance between some capital or you know,
Yes.
help with taxes. I mean, looking at, because that was going to be my question. Okay, we know what the capital is this year, but what's next year? I mean, the year after that, just
Right.
thinking ahead in terms of, you know, that piece, you know, because I was kind of curious about what are the big ticket items coming down. Okay.
So these are the bigger ticket items.
Yeah.
for
Yep.
The following
Okay.
years. So
Yep.
like Stoddard Road mill paving, $125,000. Looking Glass, reclaim paving, 200, I mean, do we
Yeah.
push it out a year? Do we do, we put 125 instead of 225? Respect, and
What's the fuel tank system?
the,
Up. Down.
35,000 proposed for next year.
oh,
All right,
that's
what's below that?
John, look,
White Bridge.
Sound like bridge.
Down like bridge. I mean, so there's like 500 in capital right there
Would,
over the next 2 years.
yeah. Mhm.
and why do they need a new mower? Just got a new mower a couple of years ago.
The way they explained it was that what?
The highway department?
Well, that's the highway department, but I mean, they just got a new mower a couple of years ago.
Yeah, this mower would.
Wasn't a fancy one.
Use, so they could actually mow the fields.
That's what they said. I don't think they were mowing the fields,
Yeah,
but we had
we're.
money in turf maintenance for the.
No, it's the maintenance of the fields from the turf, so like. Weed control. pH balance, all that stuff for the upper fields.
Mowing the field now.
I'm sorry,
Who's mowing the fields now?
I think it was up until this year, it was a contractor. So we're not utilizing, we're gonna use the town crew to mow the fields.
Which is something
Where's
we
the offset?
recommended a couple of years ago.
Right.
But where's the offset? So if we're not contracting out to mow the fields and we're buying a mower for the town crew to mow the fields, where's the offset? What, something should be less if we're
I
not
think-
paying
Right.
a lawn service to mow the fields, right?
Well, I don't know that it gets offset in 1 year.
Yeah.
Well, oh,
If I buy a
if we're paying
tractor,
somebody, no, I'm not talking about the mower,
okay,
but I'm talking about in the budget. If the town crew is doing that and we're not paying a contractor, where's the offset on that? Like, you should be saving money on that contract,
Exactly, because you're not paying a contractor anymore.
and that justifies the new mower,
general
Well-
maintenance.
right? Am I missing something?
No, I mean, are we 100% sure this mower is for the fields and not, I mean,
And that's just a new mower.
well,
No, they
but
were-
trimming down the roads or something like that. I wasn't part of the
Yeah.
meeting, so I'm, meaning,
The way Kyle explained it was it would be multi-use. They could use it for fields. They could speed up mowing around wherever else they mow. So it would use less man hours. And again, it's not, I mean, it's a cost now for sure, but it's not for, it's amortized over, many years.
I get that, but that's not my question.
Mhm.
Where did we pay the contractor to mow? If it was a contractor mowing the fields, where was that cost coming out of? So now if we're doing it, if the guys are doing it,
Mhm.
there should be a cost saving somewhere within the budget,
Exactly.
because you shouldn't be paying for that contracting service.
Right.
I thought last year we were asked to give line item of $6,000 for an extra person to take care of these kinds of things. And
That's
that's why,
correct.
That's correct.
That's
and
correct.
that's why
yes.
we bought the mower, because we
Well, I
had,
think we
a
bought the
person-
mower last year.
we had a
maybe-
person, we had a person that was doing everything, and he was from the town, and it was really cheap, evidently, that's what we were told.
Well,
And so then he died or he retired.
Yes, yes.
And then they said, we're gonna take the crew, and if we give them an extra $6,000.
well, if you look at highway seasonal wages, they cut
We cut the 6,000 right there.
6,000 right there, Carrie.
Yeah. I'm just going through the whole
Right.
thing,
So
what
there's
that
your,
doesn't make sense.
so there's your 6,000 right there.
Well, that doesn't make sense. Okay, this is highway seasonal wages, right?
Mhm.
They've picked up more work. We're not paying a contractor. And they went down on seasonal wages.
Contractor and the seasonal wages are two different departments. I mean, the contractor, right,
Right.
and the seasonal wages, here you got a contracted price to do a job. You had a supposedly hired an extra person
Well,
for
they did
summer
last year,
maintenance.
and they're going down on it. So my question is, if we're buying a mower to save on the contracted mowing of the fields, and I'm not sure if that's in selectman budget, or I'm not sure where that cost was, but that should come down because you're not paying. It shouldn't be in highway, because highway's actually picking up more work. Is that maintenance of town property?
Yeah, which tab would that be on? Capital and recurring.
General government, I think, or for selectmen.
Not
Good
community.
general government or community.
Or
What's that?
general government. All right, in there should be maintenance of town property halfway down. Okay, so maintenance of town property is,
$14,000.
what was it last year?
10.
All right, but look at the note in there that you just had highlighted of what it's included in the 14.
Spring cleanup, fall cleanup, pruning. Difficult getting snow removal services at 2,300 general, generator services, that was what it increased.
The thing is, I don't understand, we have a highway department. Why do we have to have somebody special come in and mow?
That's, but
I don't mean mow, I'm gonna go to snow removal, okay? To me, that should be the highway department's responsibility to come in and snow plow the town hall.
well, they do, snow- they
No
plow.
removal off the sidewalks.
I mean, the plows, right?
So you're saying that's the removal of the sidewalks? With this little itty bitty bit here?
Mhm.
Well, and I think they do the, don't they do the senior center and all that?
Yeah.
So $3,200 was added in for the generator servicing.
Mhm.
So that's part of the 4,000 increase. So it's really $800 increase. For spring cleanup, fall cleanup and pruning.
Well, you've got to include that generator service in there too, because is that for the town? Is
Yeah.
that for the firehouse or is it for the town hall?
All generators.
Yeah, I wonder if he went and checked with the company that I told him to check with.
So,
Where you want to go back to, Grace?
go back to capital.
Excuse me.
Oh, one of the things that we talked about, Scott, and I think it was just left there. Remember we had talked about things under $10,000 not being put on capital?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was some items last year. If we want to take this off, we have to put it under selections.
Right.
So we can do that.
Yeah, it's just kind of a bad habit to get into because it starts getting ridiculous before you know it.
Mhm.
But I think it's under general government, isn't it? The servers and stuff.
There is. So I mean, if you want to increase that line item $6,500, we can do that. And take it off.
Throw that over there.
Sorry?
Go back to general government.
Jump around all these tabs. Computer tech support. Server file maintenance, I mean, if you want to put that in there, increase it more.
I don't know. It's a silly little thing that doesn't change anything. It's just a housekeeping thing.
Yeah.
So it's up to you guys just to. I may have
It's a
missed it
one-time
last year.
thing.
Well, it's a one time, it's a
It's a
one-time.
one-time thing,
It's a
yeah.
one-time thing, but you get a lot of one-time things and all of a sudden your capital list is like 3,000 for this and 4,000 for that and.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. It's just sort of a. Maintenance
Doesn't matter
Then you get
one way or another to me.
argument.
If
of-
it's a one-time thing, I'd say it's, we don't have a lot of them here.
And then you get into the fire dredging, the fire pond dredging, which is a one-time thing, but it's not a one-time thing. We do it every year. And we,
Yeah, but I don't think we do the same.
Not the same.
Same ponds.
well, we're not listing the pond though.
I know.
It's just fire dredging. Fire pond dredging, that's come up before.
Mhm, yeah.
And like you asked before, what is the fuel tank system? Because I can see where it hasn't been in there before and we got.
Well, I think we talked, I remember talking about it last year. It was the whole keep fob thing and the,
So they're gonna go ahead with that? Is that?
that's the plan.
On capital.
We pushed it off to this year. Because they got their salt shed. So we're like, we're gonna one or
Something with no salt in it.
yeah.
Wasn't going away.
It's just pushed. I mean, I think it's a good idea personally, but at least it puts some rigor on who can fill.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing by any means with it.
I'm not, I mean, hopefully we'll save money by the fact that we can buy fuel at a reduced rate as opposed to going to the,
Right, and you know, I mean, you have better tracking of who's
Yeah.
pumping the fuel because each person's gonna have a fob. It's gonna be attached to.
the vehicle.
No more mysterious disappearance of gas
Mhm.
You're right.
or diesel, whatever.
Yeah, the fob's gonna stop all those problems. It's gonna save the day.
All right. You guys want to make adjustments? Are we good? Do you want to send it to, for public comment?
I don't
Well, I
know
think
how we
that's-
do that. Like, you guys started going down that road before, and I'm sorry, but I'm confused because
We have,
you want to go to the public hearing.
so there's the public hearing to talk, to have
So we
anyone
get
input from the public on any, so we present this proposed, but so we need to approve this proposed budget to go to public hearing.
That'll give us another facet of understanding.
So if there's concerns from,
I get that.
then we,
Now you got 2 weeks,
right, and then we have to go to,
and then from 2 weeks from there,
we have
you go to
to,
vote.
correct.
Okay. But there's no school budget.
Well, it's proposed school budget. If it, I don't know, when is that vote next week?
Sometime in May. I know, it's not probably the second or third week in May,
Mhm.
I think, second week in May.
So you kind of
So-
can't really do anything until you know what the school budget's gonna be.
Well, we put it in what, that,
Well, that's kind of what it always was the rules, but it's not, so. I was looking for clarification on that.
I have, excuse me, but Kip, I would really, really appreciate it if when you have guest speakers, you know, somebody coming in,
Yeah.
if you could let us know on the agenda, because
I
last week-
have,
but last week I go online and there's Chris Leone.
yeah, that was the one thing I forgot to put in there. I sent the agenda out before Tom reminded me that Chris was coming. But he had mentioned that a couple times. I just totally spaced.
Yeah, the thing is, as you all say, it's the biggest part of the budget.
It is.
And these are, I had a lot of questions and then surprised to see him there. But anyway, so the numbers that he gave us,
Yes,
4 years ago, it was $24,000 a kid.
Mhm.
Now, 4 years later, it's $28,000 a child. We have one more student that cost them $28,000. I know the budget went up. For the first time, it went up 1.3 or 1.4%, I can't remember. So that would bring it up a little bit more. But
Mhm.
suddenly, we're paying $280-something thousand for
Yep.
one more kid.
well, it's
That's,
not, I mean, yes and no, Carrie, if you recall, what Chris went over was that Goshen and Warren saw a reduction.
no, I understand all of that. It's
Yeah.
just, these are big numbers.
Yeah,
And it would have been great to have been able to go over it. But now my next thing, which is the biggest one, that was a shock to me. We had voted, I can't remember if it was once or 2 years, unanimously that we did not want to do the 5-year plan. It didn't look good for us. And then last week at the meeting, he smilingly says, we all decided it was the best thing to do to go on the 5-year plan. Well,
well, I think that's the
We-
board.
no, that is us. If we were allowed to vote. he came to us and asked us what we wanted to do. And it was proposed because both Warren and Goshen wanted it, but we didn't want it. And then suddenly this year, we have the jump, and then we're on the 5-year plan. So it's just, that's just, I'm asking, you know, how did that happen and how did we not know about it?
I don't know that.
Okay,
I mean, I thought that was kind of the Board of Ed's.
they come to us though, each town.
No,
When
it
it
was brought
needs to
to the
go.
Board of Finance.
I think the way he explained it, it should be more stable for us, so I'm not sure
And
why
it's
we.
not, but when we calculated.
Oh, we know,
was
I
not.
can tell you why we voted against it. No, in certain circumstances, but it was voted down at, the Morris Board of Finance voted down. And I was surprised. I came in a little late and I was surprised when he kept referring back to, they were doing the rolling to, you know, the rolling 5-year plan,
Mhm.
that how it came to be myself. I don't have an answer to it and I haven't
Is it a,
been able to reach out to, haven't had the
is it
opportunity. to reach out to-
unanimous, has to be unanimous, or is it 3 out of 2
Oh,
or 2 out of 3?
no, any town can vote down anything, but at the time. Yeah, Warren was, I don't think Warren was for it. I think Goshen was definitely for it,
Well,
because they were
Goshen's
getting hit.
That's the biggest shifts, right?
Goshen sees the biggest shifts. I don't think Warren was for it and Morris. And I don't know with Litchfield coming into the mix, how that affects us all. Like, I don't understand it. He kept referring to it and it was a done deal, but I came in late, so I didn't want to like, oh, could you start over with that? I didn't know if he explained it.
So the way
Just
I
a
understand.
Done deal.
The way I understood it was that because populations enrollment goes up and down.
Yeah, I get that. I
Yeah.
understand that.
Right, so I think what they do is they take a 5-year average
Right.
and sort of, instead of having big hits, plus or minuses every year,
Yeah, I'm very familiar with what I know
it sort of is
What
an
it-
average.
was.
Kip,
I don't know how it came to be.
yeah, we understand how they came up with this,
Yeah.
but we don't understand how this happened without asking us, because it makes a financial difference to our budget. And it just
Sure.
happened. It just, he came in and said, this is done, Tracy. You missed nothing except him explaining it to us. And that was it. He explained what we had talked about every year for the last 4 years.
Right.
And then he said it was a done deal and it was a great deal. That's it.
So what is the downside?
Money.
So
The downside is that when you did the 5-year plan, when they proposed it,
Mhm.
Morris actually never won out. We paid more
Hmm.
every year. So it's like, it does take the rolling swings away. But it also pays, like, we never made out in the deal.
Hmm.
Is kind of where we said, well, wait a minute, that's really kind of paying part of Goshen's tuition. And because Goshen has a higher population and their swings are higher. I wonder with Litchfield if that's going to become an issue too. So what it does is it takes that burden off of Goshen. So historically, Goshen always took the big hit, and it takes that financial burden off of Goshen with the theoretical, well, if you have a big rise in student population in Morris, then you won't have that big swing.
Right,
But when we actually did out the numbers, we paid more and never really saw it coming back. So we said, well, we're actually paying more in the school budget. And historically with the data, it looks like it would be at least, as far out as they could project, like 5 years out.
right.
We paid more and it never came back in our favor. Now this year, as a couple of things, it's not a huge increase.
I think it was a.
230 something thousand is not a big increase.
0.4%.
To a $500,000 increase, that's a big increase. But that was the reason why we said, well, geez, Morris historically sort of
Right,
stays at this level. And I mean, at the time, the Board of Finance said, yeah, we'll roll the dice because we didn't want to just pay more
every year.
every year. And that's what it came down to. Was the average, when he averaged it out, we went up, 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 up. And it was like, yep, but
Well,
we're not,
Then after 5 years, it gets adjusted again?
no, just, that's what the adjustment, that's
But it's a
Applying
5-year,
just-
it's a 5-year moving average, correct?
the 5-year moving average.
So, but if our population is on a decline or halfway through, it starts to decline, then,
It's not the wild swings.
right.
Correct.
So
So I don't, again, I don't,
you don't get it?
I
Okay.
get it. I just
Let
don't see
me
it.
go over it again.
So this,
Goshen goes up 500,000 and Warren goes up 300,000 and we go down 200,000.
Mhm.
Well, when you average that out.
But that's
Goshen
1
goes
year,
up- I know, 1 year.
right?
So let's say 1 year, if you did it the way it was,
Yeah.
this is what we went over a couple of years ago when this was brought up. If Goshen goes up 500 and Warren goes up 300 and we go up 200, just sort of
We
using
go
these
up?
numbers. Or we were going down
Mhm.
200. Then Goshen would really go up 300 and Warren would really go up 150 and we'd stay flat. So we're absorbing part of that cost.
Right.
And then if we went up, like this year,
Right,
and Goshen went down and Warren went down, they would absorb back some of that cost.
right,
That's where you get the flattening of
right.
the swings.
So
So
I mean,
what,
it's an easier way to plan so that you're not having to dip
okay,
into your,
but that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about here and now because we didn't get the opportunity to discuss it. That's what Carrie's talking about.
Right.
It was brought to the Board of Finance and at the time, for the
Okay.
reasons that that Board of Finance had,
right,
and you weren't there, obviously. The reasons we did not, we went against it.
okay. I mean, I can ask them.
The question is, how did it get implemented without coming back to the Board of Finance? Is
Right.
that, Carrie, does that about cover it? Carrie,
Yeah,
does that cover it?
yeah, that's exactly it. Yes, thank you.
So that's the
But-
question.
I mean, I mean, obviously got to research it, but if Warren and Goshen both passed it, isn't it kind of like, you know?
No,
No,
right.
because that's what happened the last time and we
All right.
didn't pass it.
All right.
but
so
it
ju-
wasn't brought to the Board of Finance. I think that's the question is, we're not getting into the nuts and bolts of whether we think it's good or bad. We get off of that. The question is, this was brought before to the Boards of Finance. It was shot down. It has been implemented. Where did the Board of Finance not fit into that?
Well, yeah, because this time it was never brought to the
It
board.
was never
just-
brought to the Board of Finance. It was, oh, we're doing this.
Yeah,
It's not really a discussion we even bothered to have because it wasn't brought before us. So I think that's
where in the past
question,
it always
right?
has been.
where in the past it
Yeah,
had been.
yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember when we voted it down.
Right.
So do you want me to ask Chris that question?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Okay.
I won't get around to doing it.
See your pen.
Thank you.
So, I mean, he'll get back to me, obviously, but does that change anything here, or you just want to know?
I just want to know.
Who made the decision? It's
Yeah, I
like
just
Chris
wanna-
made the decision and didn't bother discussing it with anybody.
Yeah, I just want to know. What,
But no, he discussed, because he said something about this also being a good idea that Tom had, wasn't it? Or was that for the health insurance?
Yes, let's just,
No.
let's just,
Yeah.
let's just table this discussion. Kip is gonna find out. Let's not speculate because
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
now we're just rambling and
Right.
saying innuendos. And so if we don't have the facts, like, let's just have Kip research it. And
Well, and again, thank you, Scott, but I'm just wondering, regardless of whether I come, he gives me a good explanation or says oversight or whatever, does that change anything here?
No,
Okay. Okay,
as Tracy said, she just wanted to know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tracy, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but that's what.
Yeah,
I thought
that's
you meant
kind
to
of
say.
really it. I mean,
Yeah.
we can't really discuss it or speculate about it because we don't have a say in it. Was just curious. I was like Carrie, taken aback, but because I came in late, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna have them rehash something you guys already.
I thought the way he sort of described it was.
Asked him last week.
Made sense and. I didn't.
Yeah, I would have asked him last week, but I wasn't here and I didn't want to be like, it's kind of my fault. Maybe I should have said, well, wait a minute, because I looked at the video and there wasn't really an explanation how it came in, but last week when he brought it up, I went. And then I said, well, I'm not going to waste everybody's time and have him go over the last 15 minutes again.
Right.
So I apologize. Next time
No.
I'll give him help right there.
All
Or
right.
question it there.
All right.
Kip,
No,
I
and
have
I
another-
mean,
Okay, Go ahead.
I don't know, in terms of the capital, since we're on that right now, I mean, for the 24-25, I mean, obviously the question at hand is looking at, any kind of funding opportunities there because, conceivably we might have to spread, Stoddard out over, Looking Glass out over 3 years versus
Right.
2 or
So just,
move one out. I mean, that might be a conversation for later where all of a sudden, hey,
Yeah.
Stoddard's got to get pushed out to 25-26 so we can do Looking Glass. I mean, those are the
Right.
conversations we might need to have in terms of just,
I agree, Scott, and Tom did mention, so did Rick, that the proposed 24-25 doesn't have any grant.
Yeah.
Opportunities in there. So like, East Shore Road, we got a $500,000 grant. Which obviously reduced that cost of paving. So if we were to
Yep.
get grants for some of these other projects. Then I would reduce those costs, obviously.
Yeah, because the grants may disappear, some of them, some,
Right.
and we had the grant money in hand. No sense talking about it anymore. Do it,
Right.
spend it, and nobody else is gonna
So,
use politics. to
but I
get-
agree, Scott, for planning purposes, we should make sure that we keep looking at these and see if, we can. If grants come in, great. If grants don't come in, then we have to figure out next year. Do we amortize some of these things out longer?
Kip, kind of on the same issue. For example, when there was the talk about the East Shore Road, or then the last meeting, I can't what Tom came in and read something about water or another, I can't remember what it was about. But my thing is, it would be really great if you could also say that First Selectman's going to come in and talk about East Shore Road or talk about Looking at Glass Hill. So we can at least go back and do some research. So we can ask some questions about these large amounts of money. So for example, what just happened with the mower, we talked about it last year, and then no one can remember who was going to do what. It would just be good to have it. So Tom's going to come in and talk about dredging a pond, and it's going to cost us $77,000. I'm just inventing. So to let us know and what that means, so then we can approve or not approve. It's not just guessing.
Okay, well, I mean, Kyle did come in and talk to us about the mower.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And then my thought was, well, I don't understand. There was a $6,000, it's just really good to know these kinds of things. And so then today we were able to talk about the
Right.
mower. So that's actually the perfect example of showing
Yeah.
how we can learn about it.
Yeah,
And I'm already looking into buying.
big one.
Listen, I've done my share of mowing, and I've ridden big tractors too,
Yeah.
to do it, that's why I'm asking. Huh?
Big mower, lots of blades.
Lots of blades.
Okay, I mean, we could sit here and look at numbers all night. Do we have things that we want to
Kind of what they like.
address? Do we want?
Yeah. It's a housekeeping thing again. East Shore Mill and Pave is still on the capital list. But it's been approved.
Well, this is, yeah, this was 170.
Right. It just needs to be removed.
Well, we're spending that this year.
It's not part of this budget. You're asking for approval. You're like, it's done deal.
For 2020.
For this
Grant
budget,
in hand.
No,
we approved it. It went to town meeting.
Yeah.
It's an approved, it's a done deal.
I know, but we had it's being paid.
No,
for.
This is the proposed budget. You're proposing it again. You've already voted on it.
So in other words,
You
hundred
gotta
and
take it out
seventy
of there.
thousand dollars.
You're not asking for another vote on it.
Understood, but it's got to be calculated somewhere.
it's gotta be.
No, it's
included
already
somewhere.
done deal. That's off. It's already done, so it doesn't get calculated on the sheet anymore.
For what, the
When you go to
170, we only got a
town
five,
meeting,
but we only got a
we-
500, we only got $500,000 and the estimated cost is 670. So we need 170,000 from somewhere.
Scott, they went to town meeting on this.
Yeah,
The town
I-
meeting
Okay.
approved it.
I know, but
The 170,000 went to a town meeting. It is approved.
Okay, but we've got to show it allocated out of the capital. Is it,
Right.
then my question then, Tracy,
Gotta
to you
be
would be,
shown.
Yes.
is it taken, is
You're
it,
voting on
is
it
it-
again.
no, but did we take it out of the
Yes.
capital balance?
Yes, it
So if
was
you go back to
taken.
so if you go to the top or wherever the capital money was, that's the 170 is already out of,
So if you go to the capital balance. But things that are voted on in town meeting aren't shown on the budget. This is proposed.
I know, but
So if it's voting on,
I
if
get-
it's voted on a town meeting, it's a done deal. This is proposed, it's not a done deal.
no, I get that. I get that. I just want to make sure like the $170,000 was allocated from the
Capital.
capital
Yes,
balance.
yes, it
That's
was.
my con-
yeah, but it's,
So it should be $170,000 less in the capital balance.
yeah, but there's,
Yes,
okay. I hear what you're saying, but
but
Do you see
you're
the
asking,
capital
what if they
balance?
vote this down? How do you remedy that? If
We-
this budget gets voted down, you've already spent 170, you get what I'm saying? This is a
No, I know.
proposal.
But we're right now, we're just putting this budget out for the public perusal
right,
to get their input.
Tracy, I know where you're coming from. I just want to make
The
sure.
numbers
okay,
are
the
incorrect. So
$170,000
if they
just-
ask
we
you
already-
about it again, I'm sorry, Scott, what?
No, I just want to make sure that, okay, I'm not arguing your point, but I just want to make sure that we had earmarked $170,000 out of that capital balance, beginning balance, that's all.
It was taken to town meeting, so it's already a done deal. So the capital balance right now is
I
down
know, I-
170. It's not a big deal, guys. The capital balance is down 170 and that expenditure has been approved. It's already approved. So it's not part of this budget any longer. It's been approved at town meeting. Makes it so complicated.
Kip, can
yeah,
you find it? No, can you find the capital fund balance where it started like 282 or something like that, and we were showing
We were just looking at
400,000 then?
fund balance, that's policy,
No, it's not it.
yeah, I know.
It wasn't the top of the capital.
Yeah, isn't it in the capital budget sheet?
No.
You tell me what tab it's on, so click on it.
Go down past these. It's not in there.
Beach, blah, 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 blah.
No, go down to. Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Going. Building,
Gone.
Okay, mill rate calc totals.
salary, revenue,
Fund balance.
fund balance, summary.
Keep going.
It's not in our capital and recurring.
Go to the 15-year plan, maybe.
No.
No. Go, what's on sheet 3?
What's this one?
That one right there.
That one. Okay,
So my question is, so the 170 was already taken out of the 326 beginning.
Yeah,
yes. So take the 170 out of the 326 and then take it off the sheet. and you'll be good.
So take 170 off of this?
Mm-hmm,
You sure?
mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's spent.
Well, technically not spent, it's voted on.
It is voted on, it is spent.
If it was
It's-
voted on and
it's
passed by the, it's
spent.
gotta be spent.
But we never show town meeting expenditures in the budget.
I know, but how do you,
We never have.
I'm not arguing about that. I just don't know where to, we can't just,
Yeah, you really can. Take 170 out of the beginning balance. And then take it off the thing. It's literally that simple.
Well, no, it's not, because your current balance, Trace, I can see where you're coming from, but here's the rub, is total project costs at 324,687.
Mhm.
You know, if you look at the line item in our current balance, I don't see, that's where it should be then. If we already approved it, 170 should be shown on there, right? For East Shore.
But we don't show, on our budget sheets, we don't show what's spent at town meeting. And what I'm saying is you're proposing something that's already been voted on. Just a simple thing, but it just.
I mean, the only thing I would,
Pick up on it and say, why are we spending another 200,000 or 170,000? We already spent 170,000.
we haven't spent it yet. I mean, I know we voted on it. I mean, here's the thing, Kip.
What?
You can't undo it.
What'd you say, Scott?
No, I just was curious to see, having not seen an audited financial, I'm like, in terms of, you know, showing sort of the balances, just because, you know, all of this should tie back to the audit.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I knew where Tracy's coming from. I just want to make sure, like,
So if you go back to the page you were just on, you want me to walk you through this? Go back to the page you were just on. All right, just for your own salvation,
Uh-huh.
take that 164,687, cut it and put it out another, actually.
What?
oh yeah, culvert replacement East Shore Road, 164,687.
Or, here, give me half a second. If you
That, I
take
mean,
the-
Tracy, if you've got the 164 there plus the 500,000 in grant money we got, I can see where you're getting close to the 670. That was on the capital plan.
Okay, so the total costs, current balance, now go back to the other one, okay, now take this
Mhm.
and zero it out. Okay, and actually you should probably put that at 170, because that's the money, the 164 isn't really, we allocated 170, we'll get back money, so go back to the one you were just at, on that way. Or no, this way,
Right here.
right here, make that 170. And then you know that was spent
Mhm.
and where you're at. Right?
Sure. So I just want to make sure I got the numbers here. 164,687.
Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Unless
That's.
culvert replacement East Shore,
Mhm.
is that on there?
That's the balance.
Okay. And what's the 50 there?
To finish the culvert.
So is that being spent? Let me go back to capital.
Yeah, see, culvert replacement East Shore versus
Filling and paving.
East Shore is different.
Yep.
Because see, culvert replacement is line 9, row 9. That's actually different.
So that's actually different.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So now go down. No mouse.
No.
444,
Hmm.
5. So if you go back to
Yeah, that one.
this one. Okay. 444.5,
Mhm.
proposed fund deposit. So that's your ending balance.
Right,
Okay.
but where's the 170?
It's done deal.
I know it's got to show up somewhere though.
Nope, you took it off budget when you went to town meeting. It's
I
a
know,
done
but
deal. No, really,
I know you don't want to put it here because it's already been.
well, sometimes I don't want to. I just want to do it the way we're supposed to. It's not
I know,
really.
but
a
we gotta
personal
capture
thing here.
$170,000 expenditure somewhere.
We did.
Where?
You took it off of the. Is it the two print?
Took it off the beginning
Beginning
balance.
balance,
Okay,
okay? So you took it off the beginning balance.
well, I'm just gonna put a note in here.
Because right now, for accounting purposes, that money is. Been approved, it's earmarked, you gotta consider it spent, it has to have another town meeting for it to become unspent.
Right. Okay,
So your capital, when you do the public hearing. You want it to be the true what they're voting on. If they see 170,000, I would question it and go,
yeah.
Are we spending it
I just wanna make sure
170?
That we, yeah, okay. All right, well, that makes a little bit more sense.
yeah, I'm not sure the 164.86 was at the
Well, so I don't know.
culvert replacement like that.
This is the balance that's in that fund.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what this 164, 6.
So this is the balance that's in for capital that we've been adding to year over year. For East Shore Road.
Oh, separate, okay.
Now,
Yeah.
But now the culvert, what is it?
The
Culvert?
culvert, that's right after you turn, before the Morris ramp. Is that
Uh-huh.
culvert there?
It's right there, just past the beach entrance.
Right,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
If
okay.
you go to the CNR 15-year plan. Okay. Down the side, you got culvert replacement. That is the 100. Well, it's 190. See, that 164, I don't know what it is because that's not what's in there. And it's not the 170. So I don't know where the 164 came from because that's 190,994.
Yeah.
But you're not showing on that capital balance sheet, you're not showing what's in capital. That's what's unassigned. That's unassigned capital that you're showing
and the balance,
on that sheet. That shows unassigned balance. That's not your capital balance. You've got,
right, this is just for this one particular line item.
so I'm not sure what the current balance I'm not sure where that falls.
This current balance is,
No, the one, that current balance on that column. I'm not sure what that was.
this one?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay,
Wake me up when the party begins. It said, wake me up when the party begins.
okay, any more housekeeping?
I don't know. Let's- Right? No, I'm done.
Okay,
I make a motion, we cease and desist.
I'm good with that.
So the budget hearing was Monday, April 17th. The budget vote for the Board of Ed is Monday, May 1st.
Okay.
Okay,
I was just gonna say, he just made himself invisible.
I know. That's kind of fun.
I found the flyer for the Board of Ed.
It's doing really funky things on the screen though.
Yeah, it's like,
No, I know.
It's kind of
I can
fun.
see.
you're there,
Sorry
not
about
there.
I know. You just like went away and then you came back.
Anyways, it's Monday, May 1st is the budget meeting for the Board of Ed.
we want to wait.
I would say we wait and see what the board of ed, yeah.
Okay,
Meet on the second.
No, I'm just going to my calendar, yeah, so,
Oh,
yeah.
Monday's
second-
May 1st. Let's say we'll be May 2nd. I'm sorry.
I am tired, I can't help it.
Am I talking too fast?
all right. Okay,
So we're gonna make, motion was made to, I make the
No,
motion.
there's no motion. What are you making a motion?
I don't know. I'm making a motion that we.
all right, so we're done with the working session. I don't think we had meeting, I gotta check with Hunter. We didn't have meeting minutes sent from last week, so. Meeting minutes.
So we're gonna wait until May 2nd to make a vote on this.
Any new business? I have one item for new business and that was. I got a note from Kyle. Hey, Cap, question that can be brought up at finance meeting. We can help with. We had such a light winter with overtime. I was wondering if the unused money for emergency overtime seasonal wages can be moved into road maintenance account.
Who's that from? Kyle?
Kyle,
From Kyle.
It could be.
I have several projects on my list that need to be complete and extra funds would help. You can come to a meeting if you'd like.
yes, I'd like to have him come to a meeting and explain what his extra projects are that he.
Sure.
And probably it would be a good idea to go to the Board of Selectmen, hit both,
Yeah.
and we don't have any irritations, hopefully.
Bring in what numbers he's talking.
Yeah, no, I'm just bringing it up.
Well, yeah, no, I suggest that he comes in and sits and explains to us
Kind of
what it is he wants
function.
to do with his
Yeah.
extra money.
We can actually do it if we have the numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pretty simple.
agreed.
Then it's in the minutes, then it's,
yeah.
Well, yes.
And there's no question as to, he's gonna go out and buy new rakes or
Yeah.
new bathing suits or jumpsuits or whatever the
I
hell.
sincerely doubt he's gonna.
So that's the only new business I have.
I'm
Okay.
being a smart ass, you know that.
Tell him to bring in the figures.
I don't see any public comment.
Did you tell him to bring in the numbers? The numbers.
For,
As to what he wants to spend the money on.
I didn't.
How much?
I didn't respond back to him yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm asking the question, do you want him to come in? And
When you invite him in,
Yes.
let's ask him to bring the numbers
of
in.
course, I didn't ask him yet because we just talked about it.
When you do invite him.
Yes,
in,
of course. Yes, yes.
Ask him to be the number. and It makes it really simple.
She's going to beat that into your head.
No, I just, numbers are good for this. We can make a clean transfer and it's.
Yes.
Without having to do math.
All right, so looking at the calendar. If next week is the 25th, do we need to meet or not? If we want to wait till the 2nd,
Well, I would wait till the I make a recommendation, we wait till the 2nd, because we're just gonna sit here and pound same things all over again
Yeah.
and we're not gonna get anywhere.
What does it do to Kyle's maintenance stuff?
well, I can ask him if he can wait till the 2nd.
Have him come in and explain to us what he wants and then we have to vote.
Well, I didn't know how fast you need the maintenance money.
Yeah.
That was a question.
Okay, here's what I'm,
I'm trying to actually just,
basically, here's what I propose. I will ask him what he wants to do. And if it's urgent or if it can wait till our May 2nd.
that's my only question.
I mean, I can't see where it's. I'm gonna shut my mouth.
Okay, then.
All right, anything else?
No.
8:01, I make a motion that we adjourn.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.